I've spent last 1 hour finding a place with a nice lighting and a nice background, and now I'm tired. I am really tired, and this is what I have. Okay, I have just put up some efforts and sat here to record a video. So just bear up with me, okay? So winter is here, and winter is my favorite season because you have like every excuse to not get out of your bed all day, just sit in a blanket, and the vibes. Also, the vibes are just like perfect for reading. Like, have some nice lighting in your room, play some Aru Jaftab in the background, and read your favorite book. So it's a nice time to read also. So today I'm going to recommend you two books that you can read this winter instead of studying or doing the work that you really should, right? The first book that I'm going to recommend you is Lost Cat, written by Caroline Paul and illustrated by Wendy McNaughton. Now, this is a book that I read one day before my birthday, and I remember going to my mom and asking her to like read it right away. Just read it right away because it was so good. I completed it in one day because it was so beautiful. And if you have a cat, then you don't even need to watch this video and the reasons why you should read it, okay? Just go and read this book already because it's just so good and you are going to love it. And if you don't have a cat, then read this book because by the end of this book, you are going to want to have a cat. Of course, if your mom allows you to. First of all, I love both the author and the illustrator of this book, Caroline and Wendy, and they both are married to each other, so that's like even more beautiful. This book is a true story about Caroline's two cats, Tibby and Phoebe. Tibby is the more shyer one, the more scared one, who doesn't want to hang out with people, and she just likes to sit alone and just be with herself. And one day she suddenly disappears. She goes somewhere, and after a few weeks, she comes back. When she comes back, she's like, it's not like something bad has happened to her. She's even more healthier, she has a shinier coat, and she keeps going to some place. Nobody knows where she goes, and she just spends most of the day there. Now, this troubles Caroline a lot. She is very possessive about her cat, and she hates that she's hanging out with someone else, and like she's just troubled. Who is taking care of her? Who is feeding her so well? So Caroline, along with Wendy, starts a mission to know where Tibby is going, and they try a bunch of different stuff like GPS. They hang a camera in Tibby's neck, but to no benefits. They just don't know where she goes, and it's just a very beautiful book which portrays the worries, the jealousy of a cat parent. And I realized while reading this book that it's not just about a cat and its parent or just about your pets. It just deals with the general feeling of insecurity among people as well. Like what happens when you feel distant from your loved one? What happens when you realize that you don't know a person as much as you thought you did? How do you accept it? What do you do when that happens? There's a very beautiful line in this book which goes like, you can never know your cat. In fact, you can never know anyone as completely as you want. But that's okay. Love is better. So pick up this book because, as Caroline says, sooner or later, everyone becomes a cat lover. Read this book for beautiful writing and even more beautiful illustrations. And above all, read this book because it's a story about cats. And cats rule the world. We both know that. So the next book that I'm going to recommend you all is Dear Edward by N. Napolitano. I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing her name wrong. The story revolves around a plane crash in which everyone dies except a 12-year-old kid, Edward. His whole family was also on the plane and everyone dies. So after the plane crash, Edward starts living with his aunt and uncle, and he founds a friend in the neighborhood, Shy. It's a story about moving on, coming in terms with your reality, accepting the grief, the death of your loved ones. The author also gives us glimpses about the plane ride, like what was happening on the plane before the crash, who were the people in it, what were their stories, a little bit background of some people. Like there was a woman who remembers all her past lives, like everything about her past life, and she's on the plane, and about a soldier who is coming in terms with his sexuality, and also about a girl who is going to meet her boyfriend who is going to propose to her, and all of these things. So the story is about how Edward finds comfort in the things that used to trouble him, his brother's old clothes, the families of other passengers who died on the plane crash, And he moves on and he accepts the reality. He finds comfort in new things. He creates new things, new friendships, new relationships, and that's how life goes. It just, life moves on. I read this book and I realized that moving on from something is a process. It's just one day at a time. You take one step ahead every day. And on most of the days, you don't take a step forward at all. And it's okay. Favorite character from this book was Jordan, Edward's older brother, who is trying to be a vegan, who questions everything, and who is like a trouble for everyone. He doesn't even go through a security check on the airport. A relationship the both brothers share is also a very beautiful one. You are going to love that. This book is not just a sad book. Of course it is. It will make you cry. I cried a lot while reading that book, and like, be prepared to cry, okay? Just sit in a blanket, keep tissues by your side, and cry a lot. But still, this book has its own heartwarming moments that will leave you with a smile on your face. So, read this book because it got me out of my reading slump. So, I can guarantee you that you are going to love this book. These were the 2 recommendations from my side. I hope you liked watching the video, and let me know in the comments what books you are reading, what books you are planning to read. And if you are not planning to read something, then pick up these books. I'm sure you are going to love them. And like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. Love watching myself struggling in front of camera.